Hey there, I have a question for you. How do you handle and help your nervous system handle the grief and loss that comes with a transition, with a huge change in your life? Mm. Now, I know you're a successful, powerful woman and you can handle things. There's no question about that. I mean, give you multiple schedules and, meetings, and you're juggle this, juggle that, home, business, life, family, exercise, friends, you got it down. And then there's that thing called loss or a transition that bam hits. How do you feel? What do you do? Well, when I ask my clients this, it's like they feel lost, confused. They're in a state of shock. They like, they don't know what. And that and I know that's not you. So what do you do? Well, for those of you, first of all, who don't know me, my name is Catherine Walters, and I'm a soul alignment expert. And I help women like you who are conscious evolutionary professional women to step and shine in their soul alignment and to be so fully soul aligned that they live from the outside, from the inside out, and they are able to tune into their whole being and be successful, even more successful and happy in their lives. So back to grief and loss. Wow. Well, we are experiencing it pretty much every day lately, whether it's an election loss or a divorce, or a job situation didn't fall through, or a foreclosure on a house, or any an empty nest. Now your children are in college, or your last child in college, or they've gotten married, and now what? And or it could be the loss of a dear pet or a dear friend, or even the loss of your vibrant health because of some sort of condition. And these are big losses. And when you first find them, there you get into a period of grief and loss. So I'd like to share with you three things that I recommend that you do so that you can support yourself at this time. And the first thing, and they all start with give yourself permission to feel. Yes, to feel the loss, to feel the grief, and to feel whatever other emotions come up along with it: anger, sadness, heartbreak, jealousy, envy. I mean, just despair. And there are many more. And let yourself really be there with them. I know that's not comfortable, but it's essential. The second is to give yourself permission to release those feelings. Yes, you can be there with them, but when you don't want to keep them because they're at a low vibration, whatever they are. Like shame is 20, and fear is 100. I mean, on the Dr. David Hawkins scale, those are low vibrational energies. That's not where you normally are. And so you want to release those. It doesn't matter how you release them, as long as you don't hurt yourself or someone else. But what it's so important to release them, because otherwise, if you don't, you do a spiritual bypass and said, "Oh, I'm fine, everything's good, yeah, yeah, da 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 da," paint a smile on with your lipstick. Those energies stay stuck in your energy field, and so then that will complicate things. Um, Later on in your life. And because they'll be stuck in your emotional, mental, and eventually in your physical field, your physical body. And the third thing to do during times of loss and grief is to give yourself permission to love yourself and fill yourself with love. Because after you've felt the emotions and released the emotions, there's a void. And you don't want that void to be there, because that's when other energies or, come into your field, and that will keep you lower. You want to bring in love into your field. So to summarize, when you're in that deep state of grief and loss during times of transition or huge change in your life, give yourself permission to feel it, whatever your emotions are, to release those emotions, and to fill yourself with love. Now, I said all of that in like one sentence. And that may seem to you, if you're in that state of deep loss and pain and heartbreak, like, well, that was flippant. And it's not meant that way. It's simply that it sounds easy when I say it. And yet you and I both know that is not the case. And you know that, you've been to workshops and maybe even been in therapy and read all kinds of books and, yada, yada. But when you're in this state of grief and like confusion and loss, it seems like all that stuff becomes a blur, like brain fog, and you don't know what to do. All those tools just seem to like vanish, and now what? And so that's why I recommend, and I know for myself, when I was way back in the day and have been in times of despair and grief, I needed help. I needed help from someone who had been there, experienced it, understood me, understood what I was going through, and yet knew how to guide me to get to the other side. And that's one of the things that I love about the gifts that I have is that I'm able to help evolutionary women like you to see that this didn't happen to you, it happened for you, and just give you the soul understanding and perspective that helps you shift things more quickly. But it's that type of thing doesn't happen just like this. The inner work needs to happen first. And doing this deep inner work alone is really scary. I know that, and I suspect you do too, which is why I invite you to have a Divine Friends reading with me. It's a brief, simple introductory reading where we can talk about what's been going on for you and who are the divine ones that are there to support you in the process where you are at that time. And then if we're meant to work together, we'll talk about that as well. So the information for a Divine Friends reading, and those can be your angels, archangels, ascended masters, your spirit guides, your animals that are on the other side, any and all of those. So the link is there below, and know that I am sending you love and blessings with all my heart, because I know that in times of grief and loss, they are tough. So love and blessings. Namaste.